Surah 28, Al-Qasas. By the one who is denoted by the name Allah, who created my being with his names in accord with the meaning of the letter B, the Rahman, the Rahim. Qa, Sin, Mim. These are the signs of the clear book, clearly manifest system and order. We shall narrate some of the news of Moses and Pharaoh as truth for people who believe. Indeed, the Pharaoh had established supremacy in that land and had divided the people into various classes, seeking to weaken and debase one class. He was slaying their sons and sparing their women. Indeed, he was of those who caused corruption, so we wish to favor those who were left helpless and abased, and make them leaders and inheritors, and to secure them in that land, and to subject the Pharaoh and Haman, his high priest, and their forces to the very thing they feared. We revealed to Moses' mother, suckle him, and then, when you fear for him, leave him in the river Nile. Have no fear or grief. Indeed, we will return him to you and make him of the messengers. Then Pharaoh's family found him as a lost child and picked him up, later to become an enemy and a source of grief for them. Indeed, the Pharaoh and Haman and their forces were doing wrong things. The Pharaoh's wife said, "He will be a source of joy for both me and you. Do not slay him. Perhaps he will be beneficial for us, or we can adopt him as our son." They were not aware, and the heart of Moses' mother became full with the thoughts of her son. Had we not given her a sense of security to be of the believers, she would nearly have disclosed his identity. Moses' mother told Moses' sister, "Watch him," so she watched him from afar, without them noticing. First, we forbade wet nurses to him. Moses didn't suckle any wet nurse. Then his sister said, "Shall I tell you of a family who will raise him on your behalf and take good care of him?" Thus, we returned him to his mother, so that she may be comforted and not grieve, and so that she may know the promise of Allah is true. But most of them do not know. When Moses reached maturity, he was 33 years old, and when he reached the age of 40, when one is able to duly evaluate affairs through maturity, we bestowed him with the law and knowledge. Thus we reward the doers of good. Moses entered the city at an hour when all had withdrawn to their homes. He saw two men trying to kill one another, one from his own people and the other from his enemies. The one who belonged to his people asked for his help against enemy, so Moses struck him with his fist and killed him. Then he said, "This is Satan's doing, bodily pursuits and ties. Indeed he, Satan, the thought you are the body, is an open enemy." He prayed, "My Rabb, I have indeed wronged myself, my essential reality, by thinking I belong to the world of the body. Forgive me." He, his Rabb, forgave him. Indeed, he is the Ghafur, the Rahim. And when we say he or him in reference to God, we're not referring to gender. Who and who are pronouns. The I am it way that they're using who as a name in the translation. Moses said, "My Rabb, I swear by the favors you have bestowed within my being, I will not get caught up by a sense of belonging and help the guilty ones." Moses apprehensively waited for the morning in the sky, watchful of his surroundings, and then, alas, the man who had asked for his help the day before was crying out for his help. Moses said to him, "Indeed, you are clearly a misguided man." When Moses wanted to catch the one that was an enemy to them both, the man said, "Oh, Moses, do you want to kill me just as you killed a man yesterday? You just want to become a tyrant in this city. Do you not want to set things right?" Then a man came running from the far end of the city saying, "Oh, Moses, the authorities of the city are talking about executing you. Flee from here, indeed, I am one of your well-wishers. Upon this, Moses departed from there, fearful and watchful of his surroundings, and said, My Reb, save me from the wrongdoing people. When he made his way towards Madian, the city of Shuaib, he said, I hope my Reb guides me to the even most correct path. When he reached the wells of Midian, he saw a group watering their flocks, and he saw two ladies waiting to water their flocks. So he asked them, What are you waiting for? They said, We cannot water our flocks until the shepherds water their flocks and go. And our father is an old man, he cannot do this. Then Moses watered their flocks for them, and then he went back to the shade and said, My Reb, indeed after I fled from the good that you had bestowed upon me, I had become very needy. One of those young ladies shyly came to Moses and said, My father invites you that he may reward you for watering our flocks. When Moses came to Shuaib and told his story, Shuaib said, Do not be afraid. You have escaped from the wrongdoing people. One of them, the girl, said, Our father, hire him. Indeed, he is the best one you can hire. He is strong and trustworthy. Shuaib said to Moses, I wish to marry you to one of my girls, on the condition that you work for me 8 years. But if you complete it to 10 years, that will be the reward of your essence. I do not wish to cause you difficulty. Inshallah, you will find me to be of the righteous ones. Moses said, That condition is between me and you. Whichever the terms I complete, there shall be no blame on me. Allah is wakil to what we say. When Moses completed that term, he set out with his family and then perceived a fire in the direction of Mount Sinai. He said to his family, Stay here. Indeed, I have perceived a fire. Maybe I will bring news from it to you, or a burning ember with which you can warm yourselves. When he came to it, he was called from a tree, from the side of the blessed spot, the valley of Ammon. O Moses, indeed I am Allah, the Rub of the worlds. Throw your staff. When Moses saw it move like a small thin snake, he turned in flight and didn't look back. Allah said, O Moses, come back and do not be afraid. Indeed you are of the secure. Put your hand inside your shirt. It will come out shining white and unblemished. And put your arms down and relax. These are signs for Pharaoh and his leaders. 2 signs from your Rub. Indeed they are a people who are corrupt in faith. Moses said, My Rub, indeed I have killed someone from them, and I fear they may kill me because of this. My brother Aaron is more eloquent than I am in speech. Send him with me as my supporter. Indeed, I fear they will deny me. Allah said, We will strengthen your arm through your brother, and we shall give you both such power that they shall not be able to reach you. Our signs. You too and those who follow you shall prevail. When Moses came to them as our clear proofs, they said, This is contrived magic. We did not hear such things from our forefathers. Moses said, My Reb knows better who has come from him as true guidance, and whose abode shall be in the end. Indeed, the wrongdoers will not be liberated. The Pharaoh said, O nobles, I know of no God for you besides myself. O Haman, build a fire of bricks, and build with bricks a high tower for me. Perhaps I will climb it and see Moses' supreme God, but in truth I think he is of the liars. The Pharaoh, who had attained the ancient knowledge of the reality, chose to use this in favor of his bodily existence and bodily pursuits, rather than by using it to observe the comprehensiveness of consciousness upon existence, and thus fell to the state of the inciting self. This is why, rather than conveying the knowledge of the reality to him and calling him to believe in Allah, Moses warns him by calling him to believe in the Rub of the worlds. In other words, he invites him to believe in the names which are manifest throughout and administer the entire existence rather than experiencing his understanding of the unity through his corporeality. him and his forces were unjustly arrogant on earth, thinking they would not be returned to us. So we seized him and his army and threw them into the sea. Look, at the end of the wrongdoers, we made them leaders who called to the fire, and they will not be helped during doomsday. We have caused a curse to follow them in this world, and on the day of judgment they will be looked upon with hatred. Indeed, after destroying the first generations, we gave the knowledge of the reality book to Moses to guide the people to the reality as a grace, discovering and experiencing the forces of the names inherent within themselves. Perhaps they will remember and evaluate. You were not on the western side when we gave that command to Moses, nor were you among the witnesses. We formed many generations in the meantime who lived and passed away. You were not among the people of Madian, either to recite our signs to them. It is us who discloses the messengers. You were not on the side of Mount Sinai when we addressed Moses, but we have given you grace from your Rub, so that you may warn the people to whom no warner has come. This is why the knowledge was revealed to you. Perhaps they will contemplate it. And if it wasn't for when an affliction befalls them as a result of their own doings, they say, our Rub, if only you had disclosed a messenger, Rasul, to us, so that we could have followed your signs, verses, and become of the believers, we would not have disclosed a Rasul. You know, God doesn't send a prophet or a messenger just because people say to. But when the truth, Rasul, comes to them from us, they say, why hasn't he been given the like of what was given as miracles to Moses? Had they not previously denied what was given to Moses? And they had said, it is two works of magic supporting each other, and we denied them all. And by magic, they just don't mean sleights of hands, but there is an element of deceit in the term. You know, they're working with the spirits or something. We're not into that, is basically what they're saying. Say, if you are true to your word, then bring a knowledge book from a law that shows a better way than these two, Al-Quran and what's said to be the Old Testament, so that we may follow it. If they do not accept your offer, know that they merely follow their baseless fantasies. And who is more corrupt than he who follows fantasies and imaginations without the knowledge of the reality manifesting from within themselves, from Allah, the names comprising their essence? Indeed, Allah does not guide to the realization of their essential reality the wrongdoing people. Indeed, we made our word reach them repeatedly. Perhaps they will remember and contemplate. Those to whom we gave the knowledge of the reality book before this are ones who believe in it, their essence. When they are informed of it, they say, we believed in it. Indeed, it is the truth from our Rabb. We were aware of our submission to him before it as well. They will be rewarded twice because of their patience. They repel the bad with good and give unrequitedly from the sustenance with which we nourish them. When they hear empty discourse and gossip, they turn away from it and say, for us is the result of our deeds, and for you is the result of your deeds. Salam, peace be upon you. We will have nothing to do with the ignorant. We have nothing to talk about with those who fail to comprehend the reality. So, you avoid secular talk. But being controlled about your expression is either a cure for your heart, or if you're uncontrolled, then it's a poison of your heart. One of the four. You cannot lead the one you love to the reality, but Allah can lead whom he wills to the reality. Who knows? Who are capable to experience the reality, for he has created them with a specific capacity and an aptitude with his names. They said, if we were to follow the reality with you, we would be uprooted and driven out of our land. Did we not establish them in a safe place, to which fruits of all things are brought forth as life sustenance from us, as our bounty? But most of them do not know its value. We destroyed many cities in which the people had become spoilt with the comforts of the worldly goods. Here are their dwellings. None have inhabited them after them, except a few. We were the inheritors. Your Rub will never destroy a city until he discloses therein a Rasul, messenger, among its leaders. Have we only destroyed cities? Those people were wrongdoers. Oh, we have only destroyed cities whose people were wrongdoers. The things that you have been given are only the goods of the worldly life and its adornment, its agent of pleasure. That which is with Allah is better and more lasting. Do you not comprehend? Can someone to whom we have made a gracious promise and who sees it fulfilled be compared to someone we have allowed to enjoy the transitory goods of the worldly life, and who will be of those brought forth with force during doomsday? During that time, those who claimed to believe in Allah, but then deified other things besides Him, will be addressed. Where are my alleged partners? Those who deserve the charge will say, our Rabb, these are the ones whom we misguided and led astray. Just as we corrupted ourselves, we corrupted them too. To you, we have returned. The judgment is yours. They didn't worship us anyway. It will be said, call your partners, and they will call them. But they, their partners, will not respond to them, and they will see the suffering. If only they had found the right way. During that time, he will call out to them, what response did you give to the messengers? But at that time, all news pertaining to the past will be shut off to them. They will not be able to ask one another either. But whoever turns from the wrong with regret and believes and fulfills the requisites of their faith, it is hoped that they will be among those who will attain liberation. Your Rabb, the reality of the names comprising your essence, creates and chooses as he pleases. They have no free will or choice. Allah is Subhan, beyond. He is high above what they associate with him. Your Rabb knows what they conceal within and what they reveal. Who is Allah? There is no God, only who, Hamd, belongs completely to him, and the judgment belongs to him. To him you will be returned. Say, think, if Allah makes the night continuous upon you until the time of doomsday, is there a God besides Allah who can be your light? Do you not hear? Say, think, if Allah makes the day continuous upon you until the time of doomsday, is there a God besides Allah who can make a night for you in which you can find tranquility? Do you not see this? He formed the night and the day for you out of his grace, so that you may rest in the night and ask for his favor in the day, and be thankful, evaluate. And he will call out to them at that time, where are those who you assumed were my partners? And we will extract a witness, Rasul, from every community and say, bring your definite proof, and they will know that the truth belongs to Allah, and that the things they invented will be lost from them. Indeed, Qarun was from the people of Moses, but he transgressed and did wrong to them. We had given them such treasures that even their keys would have burdened a group of strong men. And when his fellow citizens said to them, do not exult, indeed Allah does not like those who exult and go to extremes. People talking about Islamic extremism, there's so many passages that refute the possibility of that in any way, shape, or form. Seek the things that will enable you to attain the abode of the future from what Allah has bestowed to you, and do not forget to take your portion of the world and do good unto others just as Allah does good unto you. Do not cause corruption in the land. Indeed, Allah does not like those who cause corruption. Qarun said, I have been given these treasures because of the knowledge I possess. Did he not know that Allah has destroyed people in the past who were stronger than he and much greater in wealth? The guilty will not be asked to explain their mistakes. They will only be subjected to their consequences. When Qarun went forth to his people, demonstrating his wealth, those who desired the life of the world, carnal state of existence, said, if only we were given the like of what Qarun has been given. His reality is a fortunate man. And saying that he's really a fortunate person and all the other stuff, you kind of don't know by the mere material situation, right? But that's part of the reason why people in the first world are so miserable, because they look at the rich people in the first world and like, oh, lifestyles of the rich and famous, and I want to be rich and famous. And it's like, that's not the point. I mean, you can use that if it comes to you, but those who had been given knowledge said, woe to you! Allah's reward is better for those who believe and fulfill the requisites of their faith, but only those who are patient will attain it. Then we made the earth swallow Qarun and his dwelling, and there was nobody besides Allah that could have helped him. He was not of those who save themselves. Those who wanted to be in his Qarun's place the day before was now saying in the morning, ah. So it is Allah who increases the life sustenance for whom he wills, and restricts it for whom he wills. If Allah had not protected us out of his favor, we would surely have been swallowed up also. Ah, so it is true that those who deny the knowledge of the reality cannot succeed. The land of the future, the dimension of immortality, we form it in the world, the life of the body. As for those who do not act superior to others and who comply with the order, the blessed future is for those who are protected for the sake of Allah. Whoever comes with beauty, the qualities of the names that they have manifested, will be rewarded with something better, and whoever comes with bad deeds driven by the assumption that they are the body which is bound to deteriorate, we find nothing else but the consequences of their own deeds. The one who has made Al-Quran, complying with the knowledge of the reality and Sunnah law, obligatory upon you, will surely make you reach the final goal. Say, my Rabb knows better, who has come as a guide to the reality, and who is clearly corrupt in faith. You never expected the book, the knowledge of the reality, and the Sunnah law would be disclosed through you. It was the grace of your Rabb. Never support those who deny the knowledge of the reality, and let them not prevent you from fulfilling the requisites of the signs of Allah that have been revealed to you. Call to your Rabb, and do not be among the dualists, polytheists. Do not turn to, assume the existence of a God. Exterior manifestations of power are your illusory self, besides Allah, for there is no God, only who. Everything in respect of this thingness is inexistent, only the face of who. Only that which pertains to the absolute reality exists. The judgment is his. To him, the awareness of the names comprising your essence, you will be returned. Now, there's some technical terms. Qarun, the exalter of the name, Haman, house of Amen, and Pra'ah, the great house. So we have these different things. The propagandist, Qarun, the high priest, Haman, and the so-called organized religion, as people call it. And Pharaoh is the the politicians. Of course, there's something deeper than that nowadays, because the politicians tend to work for something else, but by propagandists, of course, the mainstream media.